The Daily Wire is going bankrupt, allegedly, and Jeremy Boring is officially out as CEO. That's right. The self-proclaimed God King of the Daily Wire is at the heart of so many scandals. And yes, he is self-described as the God King. And the email just went out today internally that he is stepping down and now Axios is covering the story. It has not yet broken, as far as I'm aware, that private equity is moving in and looking to buy up the Daily Wire. I heard, rumor mill, that Silver Lake Capital is looking to buy them up. And yo, Silver Lake, you guys might want to watch this video before you think too hard about it, because there's a lot that is not in the public square right now. We're about to get into stuff like canceled credit cards, lying to the press, trying to trick Tim Pool. As far as I can tell from my sources, even people inside of the Daily Wire only know part of the story, and they're all kind of getting played against each other. It's a whole mess. And the most important part of this mess is that the Daily Wire has a long history of treating their employees like shit. And so I've had numerous sources inside the Daily Wire for quite some time because everyone hates them, even their own people. That's not to mention the numerous sources outside of the Daily Wire that did not take the NDA money on the way out. Like, I had people literally in my comments on Instagram offering to give me dirt on the Daily Wire because they hated the Daily Wire so much. It's out of control. And it all centers around the God King and his fucking massive ego and his lifelong desire to be a famous actor and make it in Hollywood, which he failed at originally years and years and years ago. And so once the Daily Wire was off the ground, he just couldn't help but try to turn the Daily Wire into a Hollywood movie studio and produce the Pendragon series. Note that this article is from 2023, and he said that he had dreamt of bringing this book to the screen for 25 years. It was due to stream exclusively on Daily Wire Plus in 2024. Why didn't that happen? That's a good question. And that leads to us talking about all the Daily Wire's employees' credit cards getting frozen, allegedly. Just to first set the stage though, producing a Hollywood movie is like a huge multi-million dollar undertaking. It is not the same as filming Ben Shapiro talking really fast at liberals. So I've actually been collecting information on this story for quite some time here. And now that it has officially broken in the news, I think my sources are a little safer to talk about this. Because they're portraying it as though Jeremy Boring is willingly stepping back to work on creative projects like the Pendragon cycle, and that he'll remain with the company in an advisory role. My sources are telling me that the Pendragon cycle is being moved off-site and out of the Daily Wire's physical purview because they're not letting Jeremy Boring back in the building right now, apparently. Jeremy Boring was 100% allegedly forced out, not a willing leave. And that's because this financial problem has been going on for years. They had recently had to table all projects and do a hiring freeze because there was no money in the bank, allegedly. All the way back in 2023, Jeremy and Ben Shapiro apparently had to put money into the Daily Wire, their own personal money, to rescue it. That money has not been reimbursed and it is all gone. The Pendragon cycle is over budget by like $50 million or something, allegedly. And at the end of 2024, this problem got so bad that Jeremy Boring apparently started lying to the press to try to drum up interest for a sale. This is when conveniently it leaked that Fox News was considering buying the Daily Wire. That was never in the works. That was just to try to drum up interest so that hopefully someone else would rescue their asses. I've heard that the Murdochs actually personally hate Jeremy Boring, allegedly, just like pretty much everyone else. Like even Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring, it sounds like there's a huge rift between them from what I'm hearing. There's even rumors that I can't confirm quite yet that Ben Shapiro hired his own PR person like months ago. Brett Cooper was basically like their last profitable endeavor right now. I assume they make a little bit off Matt Walsh, but I'm not quite sure and I can't confirm. Their election coverage during the 2024 election absolutely bombed. Sounds like just like most Daily Wire products, they dropped a shitload of money into production and did not nearly recoup the costs. So then you remember when Tim Pool was like kind of like rearranging his business and all sorts of weird stuff was happening there? I don't even know if Tim knows this yet directly, but it sounds like the Daily Wire was trying to manipulate him into buying the Daily Wire and trying to present it as super profitable. The rumors I'm hearing is that Jeremy Boring thought Tim Pool would be dumb enough to fall for it, and he was the exact kind of guy they could sell to. I heard that they allegedly offered him an all-stock deal, which would be worth fucking shit because their stock is fucking worthless because they're bankrupt, allegedly. So props Tim for not taking that deal. That would have been a huge mistake. Because now my sources told me like a month or two ago that the Daily Wire froze all the credit cards of all the Daily Wire producers. And they were like pretending it was a new accounting system trying to cover up what was going on. allegedly. But it sounds like apparently that Jeremy Boring's entire net worth is a smokescreen and that he's trying to renegotiate contracts with people like the Petersons to try to leech as much money out as he can to just keep the books looking balanced. It sounds like Jordan Peterson, Michaela Peterson, their whole team has been really weirded out by this and is not stoked. I haven't talked to them directly, but it doesn't sound like they like him at all. So anyways, rumor is that Silver Lake is one of the primary private equity firms coming in looking to buy them up. And Ken, Mike, Egon, Greg, Joe, you might want to do a little more due diligence about the books before you make that purchase. Looks like your last investment, according to Wikipedia, was in 2022. This would not be a good way to come back onto the scene. That is just my opinion based upon what I'm hearing from the inside. Based on the chatter on the, shall we say, wire, it sounds like there's no money in the bank, so to speak, and they're not making profits. There's a difference between revenue and profits, and Jeremy has been doing a lot of finagling over the years to try to make it look really good. And realistically, do we even want the Daily Wire to be saved? Like opinion time? Don't we want to see Matt Walsh break out of the Daily Wire and do his own thing? And Matt, don't you think you'll do way better on your own than with the Daily Wire at this point? Like even Jordan Peterson, who a lot of people's perspectives have changed on over time lately, like even he would get a fresh start if he just got away from this shit mess. This is like enigmatic of the times we're in, where even the alternative media has been bought out by big money and played in the same big studio mindset that is just completely contrary to what the new media revolution is all about. The way Jeremy Boring thought he could just replace Brett Cooper with her producer and act like nothing had ever changed and the same audience would stay there, that is enigmatic of this old way of thinking. That the peasants just want to be entertained and you just put programming on their TV and they're guaranteed to watch it. That is not how it works. People subscribe to stories, they subscribe to people, they subscribe to authenticity, and the Daily Wire is the embodiment of an inauthentic, bad storyline that treats all of its people horribly. And I normally try to avoid breaking stories, but it is literally a colander over there. And there are so many leaks pouring information out of the Daily Wire that I cannot keep this shit out of my inbox if I try. And speaking of inboxes, rumor has it that when the Daily Wire took Brett Cooper's TikTok account, a month or so ago, the rumor is that they were trying to read her DMs because they thought that she had leaked the Brett Cooper story to me directly, despite I had never talked to Brett Cooper at all in my life at that point. That shit made me giggle because that shows just how disconnected Jeremy and his people are from reality. Like, bro, if you treat everyone in your company like absolute trash, they're not going to respect you and they're not going to protect you. And when you wrong them over and over and over again, it's inevitably going to wind up on the internet. So let this be a lesson to all of us. The internet is a force that ultimately skews towards authenticity, towards honesty, and towards open discussion. And if your business is modeled on this old way of controlling information, of big money payments, of treating people like property, and of just shitting all over your audience, allegedly, you're not going to last. So anyways, tell me in the comments who you're most excited about seeing no longer at the Daily Wire going off on their own. For me, it's Matt Walsh, obviously. I dig Matt a lot, and I can't wait to see him break free of this. Let me know in the comments if you think the Daily Wire should get rescued and revamped, or if you think it's time for them to just be done. And Jeremy, I just want to remind us all, yourself included, pride goes before the fall.